bring it back. Right, part three of headless, fretless bass. It's now bodiless. Yeah, I went mad. So, to start with, these holes here for the controls, for the control cavity, I was going to put some dowels in, but they weren't going to match. So I figured I'll drill holes all the way around it, put dowels in all the way and make a bit of a feature of it and all that, and then the control cavity was going to be not an issue. And then there were some little holes as well next to it, and I was going to drill little holes next to the big holes, and like an idiot, where the cavity is, I drilled the little hole next to the big hole and it became a massive hole. So then I filled it and then it didn't match, and then overnight I thought, well, I was going to do, I don't know what I was going to do this morning. I was going to carve it out and do some different things, and then I looked at it and thought, well, I've always said the Steinberger bass, like the L2 and the Honor B2A, which I've had two of, that all I needed was like a horn on them for the strap button issue that we always come across. So I thought, sod it, and I've chopped it off, chopped the wings off, left the horn on, and then I thought, oh, it looks like a bit of driftwood. So I've just been carving it very, very roughly, just shaping it all. I've literally done that with an angle grinder with a flat disc on. So I'm just trying to make it look like a gnarly bit of driftwood now. So that's where we are now. I have got another hole in the bottom, which was where the wiring came through from the pickups, excuse me, into the control cavity. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put the actual output jack, so I might have to make a different, I might have to route out a little control cavity somewhere, or make that the output jack if I can get a surface mounted one, and then somehow get the wires to go somewhere else. It'd be nice not to have a control cavity, so I might no, I won't have enough room to make that an output jack, so I'll probably dowel that and do something else. I might be able to get it on the end. Anyway, so that's where I am. That's literally done with a grinder and a flat disc, and I am going to now do it again with 60, 80, 120, 240, and get me shape how I want it, and then think about that, the controls. I'm just winging it. So yeah, anyway, that's where we are. Okay, so here we are so far. Still at 60 grit really. I've got the shape figured out. Just carving. As I'm going along, I'm finding things I need to do. It's like normally I normally have two. Sorry, from the factory there were two strap buttons either side, so that you can stand it up. One's the strap button goes this side, and one on the horn, and then the other strap button goes on this side to balance it. Well, I wanted to leave a bit of a dubry on there. Well, I had two sticky out bits. I thought, well, I'll get rid of that one and I can put a strap button on it, and then I'll make this one the size of the height of the strap button, so it's sort of carrying on that pokey out, but when you stand it up it'll have strap button there and just that bit there. Now I need to go and get some wood glue, because tiny little hole there, which is where the wire used to go through to the bridge from the control cavity, I can probably do that with just wood glue and sawdust. And this one here, I need to dowel it, but what I'm going to do, obviously I've got a load of this wood now, so I shall find a bit where the grain, wherever the grain, something where the grain matches, and I'll make a dowel. I'll just cut it down square and put it in a drill, spin it up like, and sand it until it fits in there. Glue it all in, sand it off. It's unfortunate, but at least it's on the bottom. It wouldn't have been any good to put the output jack in that hole because it goes straight into the pickup cavity, and the a 1/4 inch jack is a 1/4 inch width jack is about way long. It'll go in. So I still don't know where we don't need a cavity for controls because there aren't any controls. You've got the pickup, the 2 wires from each pickup, and literally whatever output jack you use, and it's hot and cold to there. Now you can get surface mounted output jacks where you cut a small hole for where the jack plug's going in, and it's cut out a bigger hole, and it just recesses in, or even do surface mounted ones that screw straight on. That would have been a great place for it because of that hole, but the screws for the bridge go through there, so I might end up putting it there or on the end. I'm not sure that's thick enough there, but I've got to avoid holes, and wherever I put it I can drill a hole through from wherever it goes into the pickup cavity to get the wires through, and through into here, probably pick up this hole for the earth wire for the bottom of the bridge. But yeah, we're getting there. I'm going to go and get some glue now, but I'm only at 60 grit, but it's becoming a bit more like a sculpture, carving, whatever. There's no flat bits really whatsoever, which is what I wanted. I am going to take some more off of the back of the neck though, because obviously I've taken all the body off, and albeit the bridge and the pickup's quite heavy on this, it will be neck heavy and dive, and I like a thinner neck anyway. It's thinner than it was, but I'm going to make it more D-shaped. I'm going to probably take 1 millimeter off all the way down, right on the back, flat, and then shape it in, which will be more like a sort of Ibanez shaped neck. As it's so big and chunky, if it's flat, I'll be able to get my hands around it a bit better, and it'll take some more weight off. So anyway, that's it for this bit. Well, not for this bit. I'll probably glue up these dowels and stuff, and then leave it overnight. Start again and find myself an output jack that's going to work. So catch you in a bit. Alrighty, just had a little break, little road trip. Got some wood glue. Got a small one this time because normally I open up a big pot of wood glue, use it once, and then months later I come back and it's gone off or whatever. So I've got a little dinky one. I've got some Danish oil. I was going to go for tung oil or whatever, teak oil. I looked at the instructions on Danish oil and it seems to do what I want to do. And then I went to my mate Steve at Ant Music. Yes, that's Ant Music. And we sorted out the input jack. And we've gone for a bit off the wall, but this isn't just a normal XLR socket. And number 2, which obviously not in focus. Where's the camera bit? I don't know. Anyway, number 2 is hot, and then the little tab on the outside is earth or cold, and it's short enough to fit in the guitar. I've got loads and loads of XLR cables of all different lengths, and the original Honor, I don't know about the Steinberger L2s, but the Honor B2As, the B2s, the ones that I've had before, they all come with an XLR and a 1/4 inch jack, so you can run it stereo and you can go straight DI, straight out into, but anyway, so that's, now I'd like to say that this was all my idea and I thought, yeah, we'll use an XLR because it's shorter, etc, etc, but it wasn't. It was Steve's idea, so thank you, Steve. And I didn't even pay for it, he just gave it to me, so that was very kind of him. He just likes a bit of company down his music shop. Although I have spent about £20,000 since 2002 in that shop, so there you go. But yeah, thank you, Steve. Not that you're watching. Right, I'll turn around and show you how it just happens to have worked out nicely. I did say I was going to turn it around, didn't I? Try again. Right, I'll swap hands. Sewer. Basically, of all the places I've looked at, it's going to go in here and it's going to cover up. I'm going to fill that anyway. I've just thrown the, oh god, so, throw the jack on the floor, the socket. Right, I'm going to fill that hole anyway, but this will be going there, the other way around, which means I can drill into this lot, drill a cavity into there. I can miss where the screws are. There's a hole already in here for the pickup wire. Then I can drill is there a hole? Yeah, there's a hole already going from, oh come on Springy. There's a hole in there which you can't see because it's black, which already goes down to there. So if I drill me nice socket there, I should be able to drill that hole out bigger and feed the wire from this pickup through this hole that's already in there. The wire from this pickup, feed them through down to there, poke them out the side, solder it on, push it back in or something. But next order of the day is for me to fill that hole and fill that hole. And then drill out bits and pieces and make sure it fits. Maybe get the hardware in place, just make sure everything's gonna work and fits in the gaps. Then I can take it all out and carry on sanding, get my frets out at some point. And just for info, with normal PVA wood glue and some Danish oil. Well, I've roughly marked out where that's going to go, avoiding the 5 or 6 mil indent, and then obviously the barrel of just, it's 20 and a half mil. There's a funny 22 mil to the extreme. I'm not sure whether to do a, well, if I do a 22 mil hole, it'll go in, but I'm thinking, let's get back to, that's stuck. Yeah, it's quite close to breaking through at the top, so I might bring the plate down a little bit towards the bottom. Might drill it down here somewhere. Yeah, I'll have to figure that. Right, this is it, no going back. and I need to get this more vertical. Right, I'm going to do the rest of that off camera. I need to get to that line I've drawn there to give me enough room to get the wiring in. Yeah, it's scary times. Okay, well I managed to film a load of stuff and not film it, but I managed to drill through now, right down here. Give me plenty of room without breaking through. But what I need to do now, because I've carved this all wonky, non-geometric shapes, I need to cut a recess out for this to sit in, because it's a bit kitty wampus, but that's fine. I'm going to sharpen my one and only chisel and try and cut this out, a little recess for this. But I managed to get, and it's in really stiff, really tight. In fact, I can't get it out. My pickup has just turned up for the other build, for the short scale fretted headless bass that Sam's building. So I'm just going to go and grab that, and I can show it to you. And that's stuck in. You don't need screws. Okay. I hate unboxing videos. Bloody pointless. Just show us the thing. But I've literally just come through the door with this. Need something to... Totally unprepared, as usual. 2 ticks. Well, there we go. That is one heavy pickup. Sure which way round it would go. Yeah, that would go bridge, neck, because the cable normally... Or would it go that way? Oh well, it will go whatever way it goes. I think it will go that way because of the wiring. I'm going to have to look up on the advert it did say about what wire was what wire. It said it's in series, so anyone electrical amongst you will understand that. And I guess that's... oh, who knows? I'll have to look it up. You've got a hot and a cold from each pickup, and then there's a... don't know if that's the earth. Never mind. Anyway, let's get back to the other guitar. But that, I'm pleased with that. That's a big heavy lump. That was just under £20. And I don't know how much pickups normally are. A decent good pickup is, you know, I don't know, 80 quid, something like that. But it feels alright. And all the pickups on my Squires and that are just probably cost about a £5 each from China. And they sound fine with my strange way of doing things. Right, back to the other one. Right, well that pretty much fits in there now. It just needs a tiny bit of finessing. And what I'm going to do now is take this edge around here down a bit so it sits more flush around all sides. I mean, at the moment, to be honest, the top of this sits flush with that back. I've had some chip out anyway. I've got the bits, I can glue them back in like that bit, but I think I'm just going to sand round this a bit and even it up, and then I'm going to have a go, and then I'll clean this all up properly, and then I'll need to get this hole plugged. Right, that one's in now, as good as it needs to be for now. But I've realised something. The hole that went from the pickup up to here is no good for me, because the wiring's going to be down there, and it will need to get up to that hole. I'll drill that hole out a bit bigger and see if there's any way that the wires can go up there and down. If not, I'm going to have to put a hole through this end all the way to the pickup cavity, which will go through, intersect the hole that's going down here, and I'll have to plug the hole in this end But what I'm going to do first, I'll plug this hole first, and if it's successful, then I know that I can do the same. But I'm also going to drill this one out bigger, that diagonal one, and see if I'm going to work out which way is best. If I can get away with this one, great. Right, well, I've made a dowel. I've got the grain line running the same way. It's not going to line up perfectly. I've glued it in with wood glue, and my sawdust, I've put, like I made wood glue and sawdust paste, put it all in, and I've spread sawdust all the way around the hole, so that's going to stay there. And I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to drill through here, and then afterwards make a plug again. It's the only way I'm going to get. I need, whoops, fall over. Right, so there's a hole from there to there for the pickup wires. There's a hole from there to just up there, which is no good because I need the soldery bits will be in the bottom of this hole. So I need, really, ideally, I need a hole somewhere here, probably following the line of where this, see this little hole here, which may have been, I don't know what that was for actually. That one was for the bridge ground. But if I put a hole in through here into that cavity, then I can get the wires from there to there, through there, into there, wire it all together, push the thing in and have enough cable and the little earth wire from there to here, and then plug it again. It's going to have to be, I think, so I shall get on with that unless I think of anything else. But there's no other way of doing it. I'd like to come in in line with this little hole here, which you can't see because it's dark. There's a hole there. I'd like to be in line, but I don't know if that's going to give me enough length. If that's in there, no, I'm going to need, yeah, it's going to have to be about here, and the wires I'll have to bend underneath the pickups, which is fine because I've got sponge on the bottom of the pickups. Right, decided. Right then, oh, pretty sight. I'm going to leave it there for now. It's nearly 5 o'clock in the evening. Been on this since about maybe 11 o'clock, so that's 6 hours on a Saturday. I'm gonna bring all my all the hardware for this, the pickups and the bridge, I'm gonna bring them out here next time and sort of eye them up before I go drilling that big hole straight through the back. I think I want to make the cavity deeper for that socket that I drilled, the 22mm hole. I think I want to make it longer to give me more room to for the wires to sit in, because what I'll have to do is feed all the wires through it, solder them to that socket, then push the socket into the socket that I've drilled. But it's going to need some room for those, for a bit of flex on those wires, so I think I'm going to drill that deeper. It's not hurting anything, and pretty sure I'm going to be drilling that hole straight through the back end into the cavity that I've drilled already for the electrical socket. And I'm going to leave it there. The place is a tip. There's sawdust everywhere. I keep closing the door in the garage and sanding and stuff outside, but it still seems to fill up the garage. My bike has got a layer of dust. Everything's covered in dust. Even though I dusted it all, cleaned it out this morning. That's enough. Shut up, Springy. So, yeah, that's where we are. Stuck. driftwood. So it looks like a bit of a branch sticking out of it. So I'll just leave it. No. So there you go. I think I've done enough today. Also got to clean all that out. You'll never see any of it, but I'll know it's there. The pickup cavities I'm not going to clean out. That's just the top coat paint. But I will be painting these with paint with metalin, conductive paint with metalin, shielding paint. They do it in black, so I'll be painting those with that. Pickups aren't noisy anyway, 2 single coils, but they seem to work as a humbucker together. That's enough. Stop it, Springy. So if you like it, give us a thumbs up. Oh God. Yeah, and anything else you can think of. Mad. See you later. Peace and love. I've been Springy.